welcome to the Conception Diaries. I'm Victoria Welton. Now for you this is probably only about a week, but for me I haven't recorded a vlog since just before we went to Spain, which was towards the end of July. So it's been just over 2 months because today is Sunday the 2nd of October. Firstly, I want to tell you in this particular vlog about our trip to Spain and what it entailed and how we got on. So at the end of July, Ross and I travelled off to Alicante in Spain, and we were put up in a hotel by IVF Spain as part of our prize winning. As you probably recall from previous vlogs, we were runners-up in the Fertility Road Magazine competition, and in fact just this weekend Ross has written an article for them, and that will be appearing in next month's magazine, which also happens to coincide with the fertility show in November. So it's all suddenly happening again. It's funny how we've had months of quiet and lull. But anyway, on to IVF Spain. We were a bit apprehensive when we first got told that we had to go over for an initial consultation. We didn't really understand why and what it was for, because with our previous clinic we didn't need one. So going there and seeing what it was all about, we were sort of wondering why, but actually it all made sense. We arrived on the Monday and we had our appointment with the clinic on the Tuesday morning, and we were with the clinic for 4 hours at least, probably more than that in the end. Whilst we were there, we were given a schedule of what was going to happen, and we were also given one of these, which is a pack with all our information in it. That's something we've never been given before. Now in it is our schedule of what's going to happen when. There's also other information, sort of extra information about the area, where we could stay, extra treatments, different questions being answered. There's lots of things in there. So what happened was, at the appointment, initially we discussed our situation with the doctors. Then Ross had to give a sperm sample, which was in a lovely room, really nice. It was very well done, and I went in with him like we did last time, so that was fine. And they used it as an analysis. Also they've got it as a backup plan, so that if anything goes wrong and Ross doesn't get there for any reason, they can still fertilise the embryos, as far as I'm aware. So that was done, and then we went and had an appointment with the doctor, and we were with her for ages. And the great thing about them is they were discussing what we did and didn't need. So they were telling us things we were paying extra for which weren't necessary. Now it was at this point that we realised the difference between Cyprus and Spain. And we've been quite surprised just how different they've been. We've also realised just how wrong a lot of their procedures were. I'm not really going to go into that now because this is more about Spain, but it's safe to say that we now understand a bit more about the process. Anyway, so whilst we were there, they also performed a smear test on me, and they did some other blood tests which we paid a bit extra for, but it meant that they could check Ross's carrier types to make sure he had no genetic disorders, which he'd never had done before. We also checked my blood just to make sure that there was nothing that I was carrying that was wrong. And then after that, they went through the process of costs and everything else with us. Now the great thing about this is, as you know, we've got half price treatment, but our second round, if the first doesn't work, is free. Now one of the tests we didn't opt for, because the doctor told me we didn't need it because I'd carried a child to term before, is a biopsy of the endometrium. She said that's usually for people who aren't falling pregnant, and because I have done before, she felt that it wasn't necessary this time. But if it doesn't work, that's another option that we can look at next time as a test. So there's plenty of things that they gave us and plenty of information, and I have to say we went back to our hotel after that feeling so positive. Even with the fact that we had a Daily Mail article come out which made me look really bad. Ross leapt to my defence, bless him, he was very angry. I don't know, usually I know how I feel about the situation if I wake up the next morning and I feel really rubbish, but it didn't even play on my mind. So I knew a few people have had a few choice words to say about me, but that's their problem and that's their business, and I really don't care, because as far as I know, Ross and I know the truth. We know what we've been through, and we know what we're having to put up with, and we know what we're going through. So if anybody else has any different thoughts, they haven't walked a mile in my shoes. So yeah, it's been a really positive process. As a result of coming away from there, I'm now currently on our mock cycle, which I'll explain on a different video. But yeah, so the whole experience with Spain has been completely different, really wonderful, and I'm so impressed with their service so far. And even if it doesn't work, we know it wasn't for want of trying, and it wasn't for the fact that we didn't feel comfortable with what they've done. So yeah, let's just see what happens next. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.